Hello everyone, I'm the Selfwind. I've just blown in. And back today, as you can see, we are back in the world of Seduce Me 2, the Demon Wall. Last time, we completed all the romances. Yay! It only took me almost 2 years. But it got done, and that's what's important, really. I think on the last video I talked about I was going to show some of the bonus content, as you can see down here. But when I was compiling my notes, I kind of made the mistake of looking at the achievements and realized there are a few things that are not strictly romance related, but they are achievements I have not shown. Initially, this came up because I was thinking I would also showcase Rabbit as a trainer because I have not used her for a trainer at all. And I feel somewhat bad about that. But that led to researching, and yeah, there's a few more achievements. So I think I'm going to showcase those instead of just showing you the bonus content and wrapping this up. No, I'm not at all dragging my feet because I don't really want to start Dragon Age 2. No! Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, let's hop into this again. If you are new and want to see all of this Let's Play, I do recommend you go back to the very first video and watch that, because I will be using the skip button quite a lot. I have a lot of content to get through, and time is finite. I cannot keep going over the same stuff over and over again. So, let us begin. For what we're going to do first, we need to go into Matthew's route again.
Hold on
Hi,
there!
Kay.
Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few.
No,
First
you
of all,
don't.
have you read the...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Next question.
No. No more questions. Yes, I know. It is playtime.
Oh, awesome! All right then. Matthew's such a cutie, isn't he?
Yes,
I mean, not
in a
like
sense,
he's a
I feel like
kid or
he's my
anything.
kid brother.
Anyway, I have one
skip
last...
button. Ugh, why would you just not let me use the skip button? I'm good.
All right then. Oh, just so you know, though, anytime you have the choice to have sex, you can totally say no and still get the good ending.
Skip. Hello,
Consent
Demon Lord.
is very important, regardless of who you are.
I feel that's very important, you saying that into the Demon Lord's lines.
Azira!
Husband.
Why can I not skip this?
What do you...
My apologies. I know we have shown you all of Matthew's route. Hi, sweetie. For the sake of time, I am just gonna say the name is... I don't know why it's not letting me skip through this.
No.
I know I've shown you Matthew's route before.
Well,
In exhaustive detail. So I'm just gonna sit here and keep clicking.
hear what? Whoa!
I'm gonna shake this off. I really wish I had the skip button.
Are...
My apologies.
Then... Oh. Oh, you will. She... This... My... You...
My apologies for going quiet. I am really confused why I cannot just use the skip button. So I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can, clicking while at the same time trying not to accidentally click on the wrong thing. Because I do need to follow a very specific path.
Well, of course. Do
not care. Hello, bunny girl. Hello, fairy person. Hello, Diana Shadow.
You will obey my command.
Oh, finally. I've missed you, skip button. What about D? The floating person giggled softly as the woman with rabbit ears cleared her throat. Oh, Holly Madison is here?
She'll be fine. She's being taken care of right now.
Oh.
Why not just say she's getting
Agreed.
And the brute strikes again with the lack of tasteful filtering between his brain and his mouth. You still have yet to prove me wrong about my expectations of you.
He's trying.
Keep
You can very well.
Come.
Pretty sure we've seen this banter. And skip button, finally. And one moment while I go fix something. I have a door somewhere banging shut. My apologies about that. Let us press on. Are you okay? You kinda got knocked on your very perky butt.
Huh. Well, yes, I'm fine now that I've had proper rest.
And I'm pretty sure we've seen this, so I'm gonna go back to spamming the just clicking on the screen.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the...
Oh, good. Skip button's returned. I do not know why it's doing this. I know I've said that before, but... And we're gonna stay in the room. And we can skip. And we have been brought food that we're gonna eat, because why not? We're in a foreign place, doing foreign things. Yummy. Hom nom nom. They try and they fail, and the boys arrive, and so do the women.
Whoa!
Hi, Carrie.
I gotcha.
Do you? Aw, she's so cute.
Whoa, are you okay?
Aw.
Eric!
I have so many questions about you, Irene.
Love, I've got you!
Aw.
James!
Oh, I hate the fact I have other media where you're a villain. Because I keep wanting to jump to you still being a villain, even though I know the two are in no way, shape, or form tied.
Whoa, are you alright?
Yes, we should stare wide-eyed that they came too. Hey, sweetie.
Whoa!
Yep, whoa
Are you-
indeed.
Whoa! Matthew!
Okay, I feel like I've missed
Whoa!
something here. Huh? I watched as the fairy figure gripped Matthew's hoodie and roughly pulled him away from me with an angered face. Oh, you pissed off, eh? I didn't think that was possible. Wait, hold on.
Matthew!
Before anyone could react, Matthew spun around and swiped at the fairy. They squeaked and released him, floating higher into the air.
Hands off!
Yeah, I'm the only one that gets to manhandle him, gosh darn it.
You hands off!
Both of you hands off! I quickly rushed over and held Matthew's hand, wanting to bring his attention away from the fairy and back. Hello from the future. Or by the time you see this, the recent past. My file got corrupted, so I lost the middle chunk of this video. So what I'm gonna have to do is go in re-record the section I missed and then insert it. My apologies if there's a difference in audio quality or volumes. I will do my best to fix it in post, but I am very much on a time crunch here, and I do not have the time to finesse that I would like. My apologies. When we pick back up, we will be right in the middle of the story, because of course, if my file has to corrupt, it can't corrupt the end, it can't corrupt the beginning, it has to corrupt the middle. Yeah, I'm more than a little miffed right now. Sorry. So if it also appears as though I'm rushing through things, or that I'm skipping through dialogue back and forth, double checking to make sure I have and have not read stuff, that's why. Okay, when we come back, hopefully we'll be picking up with where we left off.
You hands off!
Okay, and we have come back round to where the file corrupted. Alright, let's see if we can pick this up. I quickly rushed over and held Matthew's hand, wanting to bring his attention away from the fairy and back to me. And to do that, we are going to kiss him. Mwah. And we've kissed him before. And now it's, how are we going to deal with the Demon Lord? I personally will say curse. And we can skip forward because we've seen this multiple times now. And she wants to sideline the civilians, justifiably so, because outside of caring, none of the wives have combat training. And Carrie's a witch, but we don't really know what kind of witch she is. She might strictly be a white mage healer type, which is still actually kind of useful in a war, but yeah. Although pretty short-sighted not to let the boys train and go after their dad, because, yeah, they don't like each other. And, kidnapping their future in-law/wife, yeah, I think they have just cause for rage here. Yeah, we've seen this, so we're going to skip forward. We're going to tell him. And we're in the room, and Simon Tabby shenanigans, and then we fell asleep, and now we're having a nightmare. A very horrible nightmare that, we're not even going to acknowledge. Don't see anything. And we're back in the real world, and it sounds like our son is laughing.
I'm sorry. Do you want a hug?
Always. Yes, please. Hug. We've had the hugs before, and now it's time for breakfast and strategy meeting. Matthew has something going on, but I'm not going to ask him about it, because, not my problem. I'm sure he'll tell me if something's wrong, right? Right? And we're going to skip forward again. Diana's here, and yeah, apparently I do need to train because I need to be in the room when father-in-law dies. Huzzah. What would the others teach me? And she gives me a brief run-through, and now I can pick who is going to train me. And, I'm going to go for a recommendation of Zero, because why not? Look at him. He's so cute. And we're training, and he's asking what experience I have. And I'll remind him, I know Taekwondo, because thank you, Des, for remembering that from the first game. And he doesn't think it's enough because, why go bare-hand fight in a war with people with ranged attacks? Yeah, I'm gonna tell him, surprise me. He's gonna give me a gauntlet gun and shoot. I keep forgetting it dumps me into a time section where you do need to hit a certain sequence. Okay, sparring time. I'm going to parry. I'm going to parry again. And now we can skip forward through the rest of training because there's no more time segments. Huzzah! However, we have kind of noticed he's a little fixated on Diana, and we should say that he really seems to care for her. And now she is here, and they're chatting, and...
No offense to you, of course.
Of course. Yeah, you know what? It's alright. And we can skip forward, and Diana's walking out, and... I mean, I can't blame him. If you could watch Diana's butt walking away, wouldn't you? I think it was Faye who pointed out she has magical butt and boob powers, so... You know, maybe it's very hypnotic. There was no harm in letting him be weird for a little while. As he stared at the door, I stretched my neck. Finally, Sarah snapped out of it and looked to me, blushing and wide-eyed.
Sorry, where were we?
You were scoping out Diana's butt. That's where we were. And the skip button. Okay, we walk into the room and bad things are happening. Okay, good to know. And let us have a true love's kiss break this. Mwah.
It's alright, really. I don't need their help. We can figure this out on our own.
Oh, sweetie. No, we can't. We really can't. And I'm going to insist you get help. Because you need it. The help is not going well. I'm going to stay out of it. And their confrontation comes to an end. And I'm going to comfort him, because that was dramatic. And we see what happens if we comfort him. And it's the day... I don't remember if it's the next day or later that day that we're in training, and of course Diane has to show up, and you know what? I'm gonna let them finish, because I'm nice like that. And yeah, Sarah kind of acknowledging he has a problem.
My lady doesn't understand love.
Does
She's
she?
always been told that love for her is impossible because of who
Aw.
she is, no matter how much she dreams of it. Because of that, she can't recognize it, even when it's standing right in front of her.
Oh, you poor little puppy demon boy. You know what? There has to be a way. Love will conquer all. It was a matter of circumstance. She needed to see his love for her. If she was bred to accept that love didn't exist, then we needed to prove that what she knew was wrong. Or we respect boundaries. Sarah looked up at me in surprise, a small glimmer of hope rekindling at my words.
You really think that she...
Yes, let us just say yes. I know she can. I mean, look at me. I'm going to be married to the man I love. Surely love exists, even for demons. And slightly angelic elf boys like you. I watched with a smile as I saw happiness slowly seep back into Sarah's expression. He couldn't give up on her. He would be able to show her his love somehow. Fingers crossed. And now we're back to the training. And I'm going to try. And I'm going to parry. And hopefully that is the end of the time sections for now. And let us skip over this, because we've seen the rest of this day elsewhere. You okay, dude? Because you're supposed to be training me, and... You know, I kind of need you focused on me and not your own personal drama. And yeah, he still got it bad for Dee, which I don't blame him. She is kind of awesome, and I'm straight, so that says something. Is there any way to prove your love for her? No, it's not the best time to hope for that. Sarah, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. Oh yeah, we just got the bombshell Diana might be getting engaged to another prince. And you know what? Is there any way to prove your love for her? And we've seen what happens when we encourage this. But now it's time to go hang out with my love. And we're gonna give him a hug. And then we're gonna give him a kiss. Because take my energy. Hopefully your energy will help you fight off whatever it is that's coming in next. And we have fun times, and Diana's back, and I'm gonna say nothing because I think Dee needs to talk. As I was heading to my room, I passed by a door that was only open a small crack, overhearing a quiet conversation.
This idea is idiotic, God. Leaving during a war could be considered treason, and you would be abandoning your duties to your mistress.
Uh-oh.
I know that, but
But I'm intrigued. I'm gonna peer in. I stopped walking and peered inside, wanting to see what was going on. Sarah was standing steadfast by the large fireplace. A shadow, arrogant as ever, loomed over the small table that was covered in maps and books.
Do you really think a quest like this is beneficial to the war?
Always.
All it would do is leave us with one less powerful ally for a significant amount of time.
We'll be fine.
I would not be gone long. I've researched this.
Have you? Shadow double-check his work.
Yes, I've researched this route multiple times. You've already spouted that more times than I care to appreciate. Regardless, even if things did go your way, and you journey there and back without some form of incident, you would turn up a day before the siege. Your mistress will not likely forgive your absence.
So we clear whatever this plan is with Diana first? Question mark?
But I have a feeling that this will be worth that absence. If I can do this, if I can prove that my love for her is real.
Aww.
You are having delusions of grandeur. Love does not exist for us demons.
Sure it does.
Folly.
No, it's not. Boo. Bad Shadow. Her hand smack him. I glared at Shadow. Why was he being such an ass? Well, I mean, it is Shadow. Zero, however, looked to his feet, gritting his teeth and shutting his eyes.
You came here and asked for my counsel, guard. I am merely telling you the truth of the matter. Whatever hope that human placed in your mind is illogical, and only a detriment to our cause.
Hey, I know what I'm doing, sir. Back off. Zero, ...
I hope you take my words into careful consideration. Nothing fruitful will come from this journey you wish to undertake.
No, it'll be flowerful. Spoiler warning. As he finished speaking, Shadow faded into a black shadow on the ground and slipped into the dark corner of the library, vanishing from sight completely. Cero growled beneath his gritted teeth and slammed his fist against the mantel behind him, forming a large crack in the stone.
Damn it.
Damn it indeed. I'm gonna go in, even though I'm supposed to be rolling for stealth right now. Shadow was wrong. Whatever Sarah wanted to do to prove his love for Diana was worth it. I felt my heart agree with my thoughts with a firm thump in my chest. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door and entered the room. Sarah looked up at me with a startled gaze when he heard the door creak as it opened.
Oh,
Hi there. Sup? Sarah looked down at the table, embarrassed, while he rubbed the back of his neck.
How long were you there?
Long enough. Long enough to hear what Shadow said about me. Was he talking about me? With a frown, Sarah turned his gaze to his feet. As I stepped further into the room, he let out a sigh.
I've been thinking a lot about what we've talked about. You asked me if there was a way to prove my love to Isaiah. Well, there is a way.
Okay. Really? Do tell. Sarah nodded before ushering me over to the table. I walked over and looked at what Sarah wanted to show me. A large set of maps, all pointing to a single area in the abyssal plains near the ocean.
There's a legend that has been passed around the demon world for eons. The Golden Rose. It's said that if someone finds its hiding place and proves that the love in their heart is real, the rose will blossom and become physical proof of their true love.
Aww, that's awesome. You should totally do this plan. Is this legend true?
No one can say for sure. No one's ever found it, yet the legend exists, so it must have some form of merit. I've tried for years to find its location, and now I have.
At the most inconvenient time. Cool. And it's growing right in the backyard? Sarah pointed at a hand-drawn circle on the map and glided his finger along the map towards the area where the rose was said to be.
It would only take me 2 days to get there and to return.
Okay.
If the story is true, then I'm positive I can find it and bring it back to Isaiah as proof of my love.
Blah. As Sarah finished, his smile darkened to a sad grimace.
However, I have been advised against this journey, and for good reason. I would be abandoning my lady days before the final battle, and that alone could be considered treason. Even more so, would she forgive me for leaving at such a crucial time?
Maybe. I looked at Sarah's face, seeing the conflicting emotions running through his eyes. As he stared at the maps in front of us, was it really worth it? You know what? In a place where emotions and magic are, equally important, this could very well be true.
Still, this may be my only chance to do this. When we win this war, my lady will require me to be by her side more so than ever. I must be there to support her at all times when she rebuilds this broken world, but I would lose the chance to prove my love to her.
And this is why there's a ticking clock. I didn't know what to say in response. While I wanted him to do what he felt was right, there were so many things that could go wrong. Yeah, this could all be a waste of time. What if the legend was false? He would be gone for nothing and would come back empty-handed. I mean, he could come back with pizza. Pizza solves a lot of problems. Do not underestimate the power of pizza. What if something happened while he was away? He wouldn't be able to return in time to help. Or what if something happened to him on his journey? He wasn't invincible. I mean, no offense, he's a demonic angel guy. He got powers. He gonna be fine. It is more freaking out the queen this close to the war that I'm worried about. I closed my eyes, trying to figure out what to say to him. When I realized what I wanted to say, I spoke up. You should go, you should stay. You know what, dude? You got this. You should go. I'm totally not trying to get out of training. Sarah really loved Diana. It was plain as day, and if she wasn't persuaded yet from his words and Okay, it is dedications. For some reason I thought it was declarations. Probably because declarations would make more sense in this context. Anyway, this journey would convince her. Question mark. It was worth the risk if he was really in love with her. She was strong enough to handle things on her own while Sarah was away. It's not a question of strength, it's more a question of there's a war on and, she's trying to keep 20 plates in the air and spinning. Sarah looked to me in surprise as I smiled at him. If this will prove your love to her, then you should find the rose and give it to her. Whatever the risk is. If you believe it's worth it, then do it. Aw, he approved of that. Something in Sero's eyes glistened, as if a spark had been ignited, and the hope in his heart began to burn with joy. A smile grew on his face as he nodded, now determined.
You're right. I'll leave tonight and come back with the rose, even if it's the last thing I do.
Hopefully this'll be better than that? Good journeys? Good luck? Rooting for you? I grinned widely. I was happy for him. To see Sero so determined to prove his love filled my soul with joy. Aww. As he stepped towards me, I watched as he wrapped his arms around me, giving me a friendly hug. And Diana walks in and completely takes this the wrong way.
Thank you for your help. I won't ever forget this.
I mean, I have enough save files that say differently. Don't say anything, you got this. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything. Actually, yes I am. You got this, dude. Big thumbs up there. You got this. I smiled and hugged him back, patting his back. At my words, he squeezed me tighter before letting me go. Sero nodded to me before rushing out of the library, most likely to set off on his journey as quickly as possible. He needed all the time he could get. Yeah, understandable. I, however, felt my heart give an approving thud in my chest. I had done the right thing. I mean, had I? It raised a question, however. Would I have done the same for the one I loved? Yeah, obviously, because I'm the main character. And I have the power of save state. After a brief moment, I nodded to myself. Yes, I would have. I mean, it's all well and good to say when, nothing's on the line for you, but... I left the library and headed towards my room, now filled with determination of my own. Uh-oh, that's the menacing music. Things have gone horribly wrong. I'm not going to apologize for things going horribly wrong, but things have gone horribly wrong. And we can skip forward.
Hey. You're my brothers. We're supposed to support and protect each other, right?
Aww. All 5 of them smiled at each other as I felt myself needing to rest once more. I held the wall slightly, maintaining my balance as I shook my head and looked up at the brothers, seeing them happily rekindle. Roll 20 trying to sell me stuff. Sorry. Pop-ups. I hate them. Anyway, happily rekindle the brotherly love they had had before. I looked to the wives, winking, before sneaking out. Matthew needs some time with his brothers to settle some differences. I would wait for him in the room. Yes, our sexy, sexy room. I began to head back to my room, ready for what was going to happen tomorrow. Everything would be decided then.
You cruel, selfish bastard!
Uh-oh. That does not sound like a happy D. A shout, however, interrupted my journey to my room. I froze in place before turning my head toward the door that was barely open a small crack. Diana's people really need to learn to shut doors properly, or else this castle is just a magical plot convenience. Any door will crack if something plot-relevant is going to happen. It was the door leading to the Grand Hall, Sero's training room. Why was Diana there, though? Who was she yelling at? Gee, who do you think's been gone for 2 days? I peeked inside to see Diana glaring into the darkness with her arms crossed tightly over her chest. As I squinted, trying to see what she was glaring at, I silently gasped. Zero. Zero was kneeling in the dark before his mistress, his head bowed low in shame. When did he return? I'm guessing just now if Dee's talking to him. More than that, why was he keeping his head down? Was he not successful in his mission?
Where in the 7 planes of hell have you been, Zero?
Yeah, really, Zero.
My lady,
You left the castle with no notification or warning, and you activated your damn holy magic to deny me the right to summon you to my side. How dare you!
Yeah, I understand Diana being pissed. I kinda wish Zero could have said, hey, I need to take a few personal days, see you in a little bit. And then, do exactly what he did with holy magic. Yeah, leaving without even a note was kind of a bad idea.
if you would let me...
And now you suddenly waltz back into the castle with a smile on your face as if you had gone out and killed the Demon Lord himself. Explain yourself!
I mean, he used holy magic. He might have on the way home. Much the way you'd pick up milk. Staring at Diana, I could see her face burning as red with rage. Her cheeks, however, were glistening as rogue tears ran down them. Zero kept his head down, but continued to plead with Diana.
My lady, I was on a personal quest.
Ooh.
I had to retrieve something I believed to be important, and it was incredibly selfish of me to do so. I'm sorry, but I needed to complete this task before we went into battle.
Again, leave a note. It would have solved some problems here.
You placed this quest over your duty to me?
Well, if it's what I think it is, it was partially in service to you.
Only this once, my lady. It needed to be done immediately, and I greatly apologize for doing so, but I promise my journey bore results.
Did it now?
Do you not realize how worried you made me? I have barely rested these past 3 nights because of you.
Aw, she cares. I stared at Diana wide-eyed in shock. She was concerned about him. Zero seemed to be surprised as well, eyes wide and staring at the ground. However, he didn't lift up his head, most likely still following a demand previously given to him to keep his head down.
My lady, I'm deeply sorry.
Sorry doesn't make this better. What if you were killed? What if I was killed? You are supposed to be by my side at all times. You broke the vow that you made not only to me, but to my family, that you would stay with me and protect me.
Wow, okay, Dee, few deep breaths here. I understand your concern, but maybe take it down a notch.
My lady, please!
Enough! I've heard enough!
No, you really haven't. Diana turned away from Zero, looking to the ground and clenching her eyes shut. More rogue tears ran down her face as she gritted her teeth. Zero finally lifted his face, shocked to see her back instead of her face.
You are dismissed. You are no longer permitted to be in the same room as me until further notice.
Wow, that's gotta hurt.
My lady.
I said you are dismissed, Zero.
Uh-oh.
Isair,
You do not have permission to use my...
Uh-oh. All of a sudden, Zero lunged forward and wrapped his arms around Diana's arms and chest, hugging her body as tightly, and she released a tearful gasp of surprise. Zero buried his face in her shoulders. Diana stared wide-eyed at the wall ahead of her. Diana froze in his arms as Zero clutched her body to his, locking against his chest.
do not send me away from you. I broke my vow, yes, but I did it for a reason. I cannot bear the thought of being separated from you. Not after what I have discovered.
Even though you technically separated from her to go do this? Diana, ... I stared, feeling my heart clench. It was like watching a romantic drama where the two leads were either going to break up or confess their love for each other. The air was tense and full of both anticipation and fear. And romantic music. Diana remained frozen in Sero's arms as he lifted his head and gently relaxed his embrace around her.
Isair, I've brought you something.
Have you now?
You. What?
Diana finally began to move, slowly turning around in Sero's arms to look up at him in confusion. Sero frowned, seeing her tearful and red face, and gently brought a hand to her cheek. He gingerly wiped the tears from Diana's eyes, with the back of his fingers before cupping her face. Diana didn't lean in, but she didn't object to it.
I've brought you something very important. It may not seem important to this war, but it's important to me.
Aha, you did pick up the pizza. My heart caught itself in my throat. Did he get the takeaway? Sero released Diana's cheek before waving his hand between their faces. Black and purple mist forming in the air, shifting into something small. As it finally materialized, Diana gasped, and I silently echoed her reaction. Whoa, it's a pretty flower. In the air floated a beautiful golden rose on a dark green thornless stem. It had mostly blossomed, showing its beautiful petals and glowing softly in between Sero and Diana. It slowly turned in the air, showing Diana all of its magnificence. Whoa.
The golden rose. A symbol and proof of my love for you, Isair.
Aww.
I've wanted to retrieve it for you for the longest time, and now I finally have.
Aww.
Sero.
Aww.
I love you so much. You have given my life so much meaning, and I have sworn my life to protecting you. Isair, you are the most precious and the most beautiful woman to ever grace the 5 worlds. Every day fills me with such joy.
I kind of question that because I'm in this world now and I am the main character.
If this is what it takes to prove my love for you, then I will happily give you thousands of golden roses for as long as I have breath. But please, know now that my feelings for you are pure and true.
Aww. Such a good little puppy boy. I felt like crying as I watched the scene unfold. Diana was stunned. Streams of rogue tears once again falling down her cheeks as she stared at Sero. The rose slowly lowered to float between their chests, as if it was patiently waiting for something to happen.
You are my everything. My moon, my stars, my world. Please, Isair, do not send me away from you.
Sero. You idiot.
A well-intentioned, loving idiot? Eh? Sero let out a soft chuckle as Diana wiped her eyes with a very, very small smile.
Insult me all you like. I deserve it for leaving your side.
At least you acknowledge it.
Now that I've proven my love to you, I must know the truth. Do you love me?
Aww. Diana looked up at Sero as her smile grew ever so slightly. Something about Diana changed as she looked up at him. Her eyes seemed to be lighter and full of joy. My heart melted at the way they looked at each other. Sero watched Diana with curiosity, and Diana gazing at Sero in warm elation. Diana lifted her hand to the rose and gently cupped it underneath its petals, making Sero look down and gasp. In Diana's hands, the rose fully bloomed, revealing its innermost gold, almost white petals. Sero looked back up at Diana, seeing her cry joyful tears and fighting back tears of his own.
I do, Sero. More than you could ever know. I was just...
Very busy running a war? Sero gently shushed her, cupping tapping her cheek gently and wiping the tears away with his thumb. For the first time, at least from what I had seen, Diana nuzzled into his hand, closing her eyes. She looked so innocent and pure with Sero now. Was this the real Diana? I'm gonna say yes.
Whatever fear you had, let it go. I swear to never hurt you and to love you until time stands still.
Aww. I stared, teary-eyed, as Sero gently took the rose from between them and placed it in Diana's hair behind her ear. Diana waited until he finished before reaching up and wrapping her arms around his neck.
I love you too, Sarah.
Aww. At last, Sero wrapped his arms around Diana's waist and pulled her close, as they both leaned in and finally kissed. It was almost a magical sight to behold, and their love echoed in the kiss, making each other almost glow within the room. I felt my cheeks warm and an uncontrolled blush as I watched. Leave them alone, keep watching. Just a few more minutes. It was beautiful to watch unfold. Diana and Sero finally found love within each other. I was giddy and excited for them both. As they slowly pulled away, Diana slightly slapped at his chest, making Sero laugh a bit.
You really did worry me.
Aww.
I know, and I'm sorry.
That for a good cause, yes?
I'll forgive you if you tell me one thing.
How long has Mika been listening in on us?
Anything.
Did our guest convince you to do this?
Maybe. I might have helped. My heart caught in my throat, but out of fear, not excitement. Was Sero going to tell on me? Ugh. I was the one who convinced him to go, but would Diana punish me for giving him the idea? Sero tightened his hold around Diana's waist, making her gasp slightly before nuzzling nose to nose with her.
I was merely given advice and counsel. I chose to leave on my own.
Blah. I let out a silent sigh as Diana chuckled and ran her hand along Sero's cheek.
Sarah, I know when you're lying to me, but I'll let it go this time. At least you're safe here with me now.
Aww.
And I will never leave your side again.
Aww. The pair smiled at each other before Sero captured Diana's lips again in another loving kiss. As she kissed back, a dark purple pentagram appeared beneath the pair and slowly drew them into the floor. Ah, you're off to Diana's chambers, I see. Good for you two. They probably wanted some real alone time. I shook my head, laughing at myself before turning on my heel and heading back to my room for my alone time. And I actually believe you can unlock an achievement there. It should unlock the achievements for the Golden Rose, as well as True Love Prevails. Aww. Which is nice, I think. And like I said, as I'm reshooting this, unfortunately it has registered that I've already unlocked this achievement, so I'm not getting the prompt the way I should. Okay, let us skip forward again. And my guy is here, and you know what? I'm gonna sleep because, quite frankly, I'm exhausted. And it's the day of, and Diana gives her speech, and we go, and we fight, and we fight, and we fight.
Stay back.
And now I'm just, because we're now closing into
Mother!
where we left off. So I'm looking for a very specific line of dialogue.
Mother! I'm right here. It's gonna be okay.
Stay back.
And I am going to listen to Diana because she is a smart lady.
My
And I'm-
sweet Sakeru, you're finally home.
Of course I am. I had to save you, right? I guess I can finally introduce you to my fiancée. She helped in saving you.
Hi there. Okay, I think we've now come round to where we need to merge back into. Azara smiled very softly and looked to Diana, passing over me. What? I felt a little angry at being ignored, but I understood. She wouldn't expect a human to be his future wife. Joke's on you, lady.
The princess of Lilith's kingdom is your intended?
Yeah, his face right now is like, what? No.
What? No, not her.
Oh, thank God. Before Matthew could step towards me, however, Azara's face delicately scrunched up at the sight of me. What the?
Why is a human here?
And on that, we have gone round, and I will be merging back into the initial recording. My apologies. I hope this has not been too bad of a transition. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
No, not her.
Exactly. Before Matthew could step towards me, however, Azara's face delicately scrunched up at the sight of me. What the?
Why is a human here?
I ask that question every day. You should probably talk to your husband about that.
Huh? Mom, that's my fiancé.
Exactly. The atmosphere suddenly changed again. The air became colder and something wasn't right. Something in Azara's eyes changed, too, becoming hard and vicious.
A human?
Uh-oh, Mommy's racist.
Yeah?
Azara locked eyes with me, and I suddenly gasped and became lost in my mind. Detached from my body. I'm sorry, I just stumbled over that line. I think instead of a comment should be as became detached from my body. That would make more sense reading it. Anyway. I couldn't move anything or speak a single word, and her eyes remained their icy blue color. What was happening?
Human. Who are you?
I'm the main character. I'm no one. I'm an army slut, used for energy and sex. What? What indeed? Matthew stared at me, completely shocked at what I had said. I, however, could only stare at Azara, whose gaze continued to burn into mine.
You are not expecting to be with my son, correct?
No, I mean as the army slut. I mean, if he wants my energy. A human like me is not worthy. Uh-oh. Oh, it's Diana speaking loud. This might be good. Instantly, my mind was my own again, and I released a gasp of surprise. I collapsed into Diana's arms as she reached out to catch me. Azara looked to Diana, offense clearly written across her features. Why is Matthew not figuring out his mom is doing shit to me?
How dare you?
I mean, how dare you, ma'am?
Matthew, get away from her!
Yeah.
What is going on?
nothing good. I looked up and watched as Azair glared at her own son and placed her hand on his chest. Her hand was engulfed in a dark blue glow that spread the taint on Matthew's skin. Some sort of invisible force pulled Matthew back and slammed his body into the Demon Lord's throne. Uh-oh, that's no good. Matthew! As his body came to rest against it, the blue chains wrapped around the throne and Matthew's body. The chains began to glow and tighten around him, locking him in place.
Filthy human bitch!
I'm
You
not.
don't belong in this world, and you will
Agreed.
never have my son!
And you're wrong. So, 2 wrongs and a right.
Mother, what are you?
She's being evil.
Your mother's not here anymore, Matthew.
Oh? What?
She's been connected to the Demon Lord for too long. She's gone mad.
Ah.
Mad! I am speaking truth! The king of the demon world has no need for a disgusting human!
I mean, energy.
What?
King of the demon world?
I'm afraid you are mistaken.
Yeah, because the queen is right across from you. And the future is female.
How am I mistaken? The demon lord is dead, so his son must take the throne!
And wouldn't that be the eldest James anyway?
The Demon Lord is dead. The rebellion has usurped the throne. Your son no longer has claim to it.
And again, wouldn't it go to James first?
The rebellion!
I'm pretty sure we've seen this. I'm gonna start skipping again.
Mother,
You were merely...
no, that's not true. I came because the Demon Lord cursed.
Listen to yourself! You are a demon, Zakadu!
Yeah, Zakeru.
Of the You
Don't bother.
and you!
The Demon Lord.
With
I am warning you.
such...
If it means
Then, allow...
And the catfight begins.
I won't let you touch her.
Thank you, Dee.
Has the human world tainted you, too? You're defending a human!
I know, right?
You claim that I am the one who is mad!
Wow! I mean, you are.
Quiet! This...
I reckon. Human.
I'ma give Diana all the energy.
Enough to...
You're. What? It may be.
You two fight. I'm gonna go rescue my hubby.
Enough fooling around! You'll never outmatch me! Just surrender!
No.
Crowing like a proud bird won't convince me of your strength. If you claim to be stronger than me, then prove it!
I'm just gonna put money on Diana now. Once more, Diana charged at Azair, zipping through the air like a bullet. Pew pew! I didn't think my pew pew was that funny. From the shadows around Diana, lines of blue chains shot forth and reached for Diana's body.
What?
Hey, I don't think Diana wants to be caged like that. The chains quickly wrapped themselves around Diana's arms and legs and encircled her neck and waist, squeezing her tightly. A choked, garbled managed to escape Diana's throat as the chains began to pull her limbs in opposite directions. My mind flashed back to the nightmare I had before I arrived. Diana was chained in the air in the shape of a star, being pulled apart. However, this time, it was Azair who was pulling the chains. Azera laughed hysterically as she looked up at Diana's body, seeing the result of her sneak attack. Ah, you're a rogue.
Shame, Princess of Lilith! Do you not like that? I thought you wanted me to prove my strength!
Can I enter the fray? I'm just saying, I have a horse in this fight.
What a pitiful sight you are! Is that the best you can do, Princess of Lilith?
With a snap of Azara's fingers, blue bolts of lightning ran down the chains and shot into Diana's form, causing her to release a heavily garbled scream into the air. Diana, no! I had to think of something quick. I needed to save Matthew and Diana. But were both possible, especially with the barrier in the way. My mind instantly thought of Sero. He had holy magic, so maybe he had the ability to break the barrier. However, what about Matthew? If Azera did something else to him, well, Zavero saved Diana. Then I remembered that I could summon Matthew by using his real name. I mean, I could summon both. What if it helped him escape his bonds? There wasn't enough time to decide. I shouted at last, calling out the first name that came into my mind, even though I've literally thought both names. And I'm gonna call for my hubby. I need to get Matthew out of there, and I knew exactly how. I called out his name, and I'm pretty sure we've seen what happens when we call out his name, since it ties into one of the major endings. Indeed. What? Why didn't it work? Using a demon's name was supposed to have broken through anything. Azera laughed, causing me to look at her.
Pathetic! Your love for him isn't strong enough!
Oh. Okay, so it's time to throw down. This couldn't be. I stared at Azera, trying not to break into hysterics. The summoning spell didn't work. Before I could open my mouth to shout for Sero, Azera raised her hand and smirked at Diana's body. Uh-oh.
I've had enough fun with you!
I don't think Dee is having fun, though. I didn't even get the chance to blink or close my eyes. Azera swept her hand through the air, causing the chains to release Diana's arms, legs, and waist, but tighten around her neck. With a bubbly gargle, Diana cried out as the chains finally crushed her neck. Ooh. That's no good. Okay, good job there, sound effects team. The sound of her neck snapping echoed through the room before the chains finally released her, Diana's body dropping to the ground and slamming onto it with a terrifying thud.
As much as I would have loved to rip you apart, I don't want any more blood on the marble.
I know, it's just so hard to clean, you know? No! Diana remained on the ground, lifeless. Tears began to flood my eyes as I stared at her fallen body, before glaring hard at Azera. As we locked eyes, she began to laugh hysterically.
The rebellion has lost its precious queen! This war is over!
I mean, is it? Because there's a whole army outside that says differently. Azera then sneered at me, stepping down from the throne, Diaz to walk slowly towards me. I felt my body freeze at her gaze. She was enthralling me again. I mean, come on, bitch, new trick. I fought back with all my willpower, trying to deny her any control over my form, but I remained as a statue, only able to breathe.
You waste of space!
I'm not.
Really think you can just claim my son? He is about to serve a higher purpose and you are in his way! Don't you see that?
No. I gritted my teeth, fighting back harder. I could feel waves of energy rush through me, ordering me to obey her mental commands, but I refused to acknowledge them. I wasn't going to give in to her. Yay?
All you are good for is being chained to a bed and milked of your energy like a good little harem girl.
You would know.
Energy would be able to sustain him for decades.
so you at least acknowledge I have power. I stared wide-eyed at her, feeling her energy surge in my body, and seeing her smirk grow with each step she took towards me, her eyes glistening with sadistic rage.
Maybe that's what we'll do with you. You can be my son's favorite plaything. He'll always have a source of energy and will become powerful enough to completely rule over this world with an iron fist, while you get to live. Would you like that?
No? My mind began to flash back to the nightmare I had of Matthew, staring at me with a cold, sadistic gaze and smile. I had to fight myself from shuddering as I battled against Azera's hold. Matthew will never listen to you.
Won't he? I've been draining him of his willpower this whole time. He won't be able to disobey me anymore.
Uh-huh. My heart stopped, and I could feel Azera's hold take over as my spike of fear lowered my resolve. She was doing what? My eyes darted over to the throne, terror clutching at my heart. He was going to obey her. I looked to Matthew to see the chains disappearing from his body as he slowly stood, his head down with his bangs shielding his eyes. I became wide-eyed as he slowly descended the dais and began to walk towards his mother in a zombie-like fashion. Azera looked over her shoulder at her son and chuckled before turning back to me.
Now, be a good boy and chain this.
Uh-oh. My voice caught in my throat as I witnessed a blade ramming through Azera's chest, making her gasp and tremble in shock. From behind her, Matthew lifted his head to reveal his tear-stained eyes as he held the blade that he had impaled his mother on with a shaky grip. Azera turned her head to try and look at him. Matthew.
What?
I'm sorry, but I love her.
Mwah. We are gonna need so much counseling. My heart swelled in both love and despair. This wasn't fair to him, but it was between her and me, and Matthew made his choice.
Sakeru.
Goodbye, Mother.
Yeah. Fuck off. Without another word, Matthew pulled the blade out from Azera's body and swung it around his head, cutting a large gash in her back and forcing her down to the ground. My body became my own again as I crawled back from her falling body. Azera hit the ground and quickly went limp, lifeless at last. Matthew, however, gripped to his blade and stared at what he had done, both in pain and in shame. My heart began to cry for Matthew. He had struck down his own mother, the one he loved with every part of his being. This undoubtedly impacted him hard, and I could never know what ran through his mind. I slowly stood and walked over, standing before Matthew as he dropped his blade and averted his gaze to the side. Matthew. I slowly raised my arm to offer a hug, and instantly Matthew pulled me to him and pressed my body against his, bearing his face into my shoulder. I could tell he was fighting back tears, but couldn't stop himself from letting some go. Pressing his forehead against my neck, all I could do was hold him and hug him with the same amount of force. It's over now. It's over. Except for it's not, because I haven't gotten the goddamn achievement. I gently ran my fingers through Matthew's hair. I actually think we're closing into an ending. And I know I have all the endings for Matthew, so I'm just gonna start skipping.
Well, you did it!
Yes, I did.
Congratulations! You've made it to the end of your story. I have to say, I am very surprised at how it turned out. Nevertheless, I'm glad things worked out. I never imagined that Matthew's own mother would go crazy and turn on him.
I mean, I did.
At least the Demon Lord got what he had coming to him.
Exactly.
Anyway, Matthew's completely free now, and you got to return to the human world in the end.
Cool beans. Now give me my thing.
Anyways, you've been through a lot, so
Skip
why don't we
button.
skip to...
Achievement unlocked. A royal cremation.
You would think demons would be more hostile towards each other, being demons and all, but the threat of the Demon Lord was what brought the entire world together. When Diana's body was found, the entire rebellion wept. Even the rebel leaders, and especially Sero. Despite the war being over and celebrations being the highlight of the night following it, the death of their queen became the dreadful morning news.
Yeah. Victory, but at what cost?
She was given a public cremation, watched by the entire rebellion army, and when her body became ashes, Sero took the remains to a tree sacred to her family, burying her ashes at the roots.
Aww. That's incredibly sweet and incredibly heartbreaking.
What did Sero do then? Well, you see...
Yes?
Since Sero is... well... Since he's half angel,
Huh.
his angel blood prevents him from letting him take his own life.
Ah.
As it's inscribed on their blood by heaven, that they will live until time or their enemies end them.
Ah. And the Demon Lord and Matthew's mom are both dead, so they can't end him. Ouch.
None of the rebel leaders would agree to take his life, and every demon in the abyssal plains came to respect him too much to challenge him. So he simply sits at the foot of Diana's family tree, desperate to wither away.
That is heartbreaking.
I think he's still there now. Poor Sero.
Poor Sarah indeed. He is not my favorite character, but... yeah.
Anyway, the other rebel leaders, desperate to make sure that her death wouldn't be in vain, brought themselves together and swore to bring the world to the peace they believed she imagined it to have.
That's good.
To the surprise of many, they did a pretty decent job. They slowly started to work at breaking the caste system and organized trade on every inch of the world.
That's good.
All of it in the memory of the fallen succubus.
I'm sure Diana would have loved to have seen that.
And I believe that is everything that happened after, well,
Cool.
except for your story anyway.
Matthew and I are back in the human world. And had a peaceful night in your bed before moving on and getting married.
Huh? How do I know? Well, I have my ways.
You're creepy,
Maybe you
Kay.
should
You're
check
very
it out.
creepy. And actually, I think I'm going to close the video here. I really just wanted to show you how to do the royal cremation, which was the goal of this video. And we did that. So, good job, everybody. We did it. Woo! So, I'm going to cut the video here. My apologies if it's a bit choppy, because right now, unedited, we're at about 53, 54 minutes, give or take. So, yeah, this should be a fun thing to edit. Next time when we come back, we're going to show another of the side path endings you can get. That'll be next time. So, until next, tak likatilak hido.